And we're live.
And we're live. This is Thought Process. Back at it again with another episode after another fail. Last week we had a Halloween special that we filmed for a whole hour, and we had a good conversation. We had some great stories. Unfortunately, we were not paying attention at our audio, so the whole hour went muted. And I don't know, perhaps today we will get into some of those stories, um, and some of the conversation that we had last week. And then we have a few new things that what I would like to discuss. I don't know about Greg here. But anyway, just want to welcome you. We're live streaming from Orange County, California. Today is 61 degrees.
61. Right now.
Clear.
Right now. Do you know what it was earlier?
Dude, it was like 80 degrees.
I've been waking up around like 6:30 every morning. It starts off around like 55 degrees. By the time it's like 7:30, it's already at 60. Like 65, sorry. 60 is only 5 degree difference, but and then by midday it's already 30 degree difference. It's like 80. It's weird.
Dude, now, well, for people that don't live in California, California winter has 5 stages. You wake up, you wake up with your blankets, like you're all in like comfy in your blankets. You're all covered up. You get up, you put on a sweatshirt or jacket in the morning when you walk out of your house. By the time you get to your office, you're probably taking off your sweatshirt or your jacket or your hoodie. And then by lunchtime, you're taking off your whatever your second shirt you have to go to lunch. So you're on your tank top because it's 85 degrees outside. And then and then towards the evening, like 5 6 p.m., now that we've had the daylight saving times, it's starting to get darker sooner. So the the wind chill starts coming in. So then you have to go and put all the layers back on. But yeah, man. But anyway,
I'm still wearing shorts and sandals.
yeah. But all you white people, dude, California. Greg is, if you can't see him, Greg is wearing some bright sky blue shorts and flip flops. 61 degrees out. I mean, I guess it's not that cold. But you are wearing a jacket, which is contradictory to your
That's different
style.
though. It's based off of the shirt I wore. The reason I'm wearing the jacket is because the shirt is not a good shirt. It's got like armpit stains if you're not warm enough, and
Okay, but
and like
that doesn't have anything
it's
to do
super
with.
short, and so like when you sit or like walk around, the back part like riffles up because it's an old shirt. It's like lost its all like elasticness.
But that has nothing to do with you wearing a jacket and shorts.
Yeah.
No, because you could have worn jeans. And I'm not
Yeah, but
saying
jeans are uncomfortable.
I'm not saying, oh, you have, like, I'm not even bagging on your stuff. It's just funny that you have shorts, that you pick shorts, flip flops, and then you have a jacket.
Like I said, it's tactical.
Tactical.
It's not about temperature.
Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, man. So last week,
Yep.
back at it again with the damn IT
IT?
failures, man.
Well, nah, see, there's always gonna be an issue with the microphone unless we have someone in the back.
You know your microphone's pointed away from you.
It's not pointed away from me, it's pointed away from you. Because it's picking you up. I turned it so it doesn't pick you up as easily. It's called tactics.
But is it not?
No, it's
pointed
fine.
away from
It's
you?
how
Okay.
it's
Just
how I said
wondering.
it. I moved it when you start talking.
Because the past few podcasts we've had the issue where one of us is too far away. We're like an echo. Which, by the way, someone was supposed to tell us that it was working correctly, but
I
anyway.
told you. I already looked.
Okay.
We're good. Um, but no, one of the issues with the microphone was that yours is turned on, mine wasn't.
Oh, back then.
Yeah. So now we got the okay.
Okay, we got the okay. Anyway, so last week it was Halloween. How'd you spend your Halloween?
Well, we were here, but let's say after that. So before I went out driving, and I didn't do that great. It was like whatever. It was like normal, and I left here, and right away it was good. It was like good. You're like, all right, cool. I'm making some money tonight. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like real good. Like I was making like 7-minute trips for like almost like 10 times the pay. And I was like, what is going on? Like, go as fast as I can. And I actually I had a feeling I would pick up someone who's just gonna be horrible or some bad situation. But everyone I picked up was so good. Like, there was one situation where they put the address to the wrong place. I think down here in the downtown, that they have specific areas you can pick up now, and the app knows that. So if you put in an address for say like 234, but the pickup location is 256, the app tells me go to 256 and they're sending 234, but I don't know where 234 is. So like it does us both no good. So I ran into that issue. So it was chaos out there. There were people everywhere, and I couldn't find the guy. And they were like, "I'm gonna cancel
Why don't
and
you
order a new person."
explain a little bit more of what you do with Uber? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't drive. So, like, what
People know how Uber works, but
not really.
it's
It's
like
an app. If for customers, it's just an app. You just call somebody and they show up. They have no idea. Everything that you're explaining is from the driver's perspective. So a lot of people, they have no idea.
Okay, well, it's like if you put in an address in some locations, like very popular locations, like say an airport, you may be standing at an arrival location, but us as the drivers are only allowed to pick up in departure locations
or designated location for Uber.
So if you call me at this specific spot, like let's say in the arrival section at the Delta airplane, I will be at the departure part of the Delta airplane, and you gotta come to me because I can't drive my car to you. So sometimes people don't understand that.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have no idea.
It's like every time I ever do something, the second I get there, I send a text message. I hit I've arrived. Like most of the time, I'll do it like when I know for sure I'm at the spot or like I'm gonna be there in like 30 seconds. I send it early, but unless I know I'm there, I don't send a message.
The app does it by itself too, right? When you arrive at the location, it automatically sends a.
Well, it notifies their phone that they're gonna be paid, but I don't know if it sends them a straight out notification, like a cell phone ding or any of that, because they get charged if I'm sitting there, so it tells them I'm there. But I don't know. Some people just don't care, or some people need more time.
So it was a good.
Yeah, it was a good experience all the way around. I stayed out till like 4 a.m.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about one of the passengers that might have, I don't know, made you laugh, made you change your mind, or you found interesting?
Oh, I picked up these people from a taco shop right down the street. I was like, okay, these people are just ready to go home. They had dinner. We're good to go. I pick them up. I'm at the turn signal. It's just this Hispanic lady. She's just like waving at me like it's me. And I was like, yeah, I see you. I'll be right there. But she wouldn't stop. She's just like right here. And so pick them up. There's 2 girls and a guy. Guy gets in the front seat. The girl in the back, she just nonstop was talking the whole time to everyone, to me, to the other 2. And then we're like maybe 5 minutes from the house. It's like one left turn and a right turn and we're there. And she's like, can we go stop at Del Taco? I was like, sure. You just have to tell me how to get there. She's like, oh, well, You're going the wrong way. Okay. So where do I go? And so we finally get there. We pull up to Del Taco. And she's asking everyone like, "Oh, what do you want?" And then people would tell her something, and she'd be like, "Nah, we'll get this." So she ordered for everyone regardless of us telling them. She got me a burrito too. And the guy and I we're talking. I don't even remember what we were talking about anymore, but it was really funny. And that they were talking about their family actually, because they were gonna go visit one of their sisters who just had a third baby, and she she, she was saying that her sister married a white guy, and was asking me um about white names. She's like, listen to these names. I can't remember the names anymore.
Trent.
But one was like, it was like
Skylar.
Victorian. Victorian. I was like, that ain't a white name. Victoria is a white name. A Victorian? I've never heard that as a name. But no, it was fun. We were laughing and having a good time. I got a burrito out of it. And yeah, it was all good. And then it was really interesting because the next day from Halloween was BlizzCon. And that's at the Anaheim Convention Center. Yeah. And man, I didn't know how close a lot of these things are connected. Like, you take a street like that pizza place we went to that night.
Didn't
With
I bring you
Sergio,
here?
remember?
Oh yeah.
Where we were like, why did we go so far? We were one street light away from Disneyland. Did you know that?
It wasn't one street
It's
light.
literally the next street light.
No,
is
it's like,
where your sister used to live.
no, it's like from there it's like 5 minutes to Disney, maybe 10.
But I had picked up these two guys and dropped them off at like a liquor store, and it seemed like that whole area was popping at like 3, 4 in the morning for BlizzCon. Like, it wasn't people out there celebrating Halloween. Like, these people were like, it looked like they had just woken up, like they were ready for the day, and
At what time?
at like, I think it was 3 in the morning. People getting ready to go, and some people, I guess,
do they
waited in
camp-
line.
You have to camp out or what?
No, you don't have to because it's tickets. I
don't
think
understand.
you can get better seats if you camp out. So people want
Oh.
better seats, but
Well, what's BlizzCon? Because I know what BlizzCon is, but people, you're
It's
just
a
saying
game-
all these names. People don't know what you're
it's a
talking
gaming
about.
convention for the company Blizzard, who makes World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft, Hearthstone. What's the other one? Overwatch, Diablo. Dude, did you watch that commercial
No.
for the next Diablo? You got to see it. We'll watch it after this.
So
It's not
listen.
even. It's sick. So when you see it, you're gonna be crazy.
What? Just say something.
It what?
Oh my god.
Just say it. Oh.
So what? Steve.
What the hell? Are you petting the head?
He's petting
Anyway.
the whole time.
It's Steve. Steve is having a good time. But anyway, so I didn't actually watch that trailer. But what did you say? Because this is a conversation that we were having last week. You were telling me how you can't do scary things, or not necessarily because you're scared of
I
things.
don't like 'em, no.
It just gives you the heebie-jeebies,
Uh-huh.
right? But here you are excited about this video game called Diablo.
No.
Come on, you just changed your
No, this trailer is disgusting.
No, I know, but I'm not talking about the trailer.
Oh no,
You
the
played
game's
the game.
fine because the game is not gonna be. It's not the same. It's not. It's
Okay,
it won't be that.
I-
There will be like cutscenes that may be disgusting, but the game itself is not horror.
I don't mean the horror aspect of it, or the creeps, or whatever, or the cinematic cuts of it. I'm talking about the game itself.
Well, I can hear the name Diablo. Like, it's not scary.
Okay, but okay. So I guess let me go back to what I actually meant. I'm talking about the actual game and what it represents, and then the beliefs that we were talking about like 2 podcasts ago,
Yeah.
which we mentioned during Halloween as well.
Yeah. What about
So
it?
so because we were talking about like how uh
You're trying to defeat Diablo in the game. Like, you're not like his supporter, even though Diablo's not in this game.
okay, so I'm confused. I saw the first one and like
Diablo is in the other ones,
yeah.
but I don't think Diablo's in this one.
So why is it even Diablo 2?
I don't know enough of the lore behind it, but it's like the Queen of Death in this one. When you see it, dude, you'll be like, "Holy crap, dude!"
Well,
Like
you guys
the
should go to YouTube and check out Diablo trailer and let us know what you guys think.
whoo.
So are you planning to play this game?
I'll maybe, like, if I have the money, maybe, probably. But no, I really haven't picked up anything new.
No?
The game that I play now is 5 years old. So, like,
Which one is that?
the Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh yeah.
It's a free-ish game.
Free-ish?
Yeah, you can either play free or you can
How do you
pay for
play?
specific things.
How do you play?
A while ago, I had bought a membership for a long period of time, so I still have that.
How long?
So technically, I'm playing the paid version.
How long?
It was 6 months.
Okay. All right.
So
Cool. Man, I wish I could get back to gaming, but I can't. It's been weird.
yeah,
I have a little emulator that they make. You actually can get them from Amazon called the Raspberry Pi. It's basically a little PC, no bigger than my fist here, right?
yeah.
Um, you put a little SD card where you can load up PC games. I have all the classic Nintendo, Sega. Um, I think I have Nintendo 64, just GoldenEye. I
Oh, dude,
fucking
we played
I
that. That was
hate that game,
horrible.
dude, so much. It's just so laggy.
One of the, actually, not one of the things. Those Raspberry Pis can do so. You can do so much with them.
Yeah, it's like a
There's a
PC.
huge community out there of people who use that to just create things. Like people make smart mirrors.
Uh
They
huh.
use like double paneled glass, and they'll put like the weather, and they'll like turn it into a tablet but on a mirror. So like in the morning when you wake up and you're getting ready, you'll look at your weather, you'll
You
look at
can
all
do that
that.
with that.
Yeah.
You just program it.
Yeah, just program it.
It's a
You gotta
program
get
that you
the
run.
glass, yeah. You just put up a
Man, I gotta
this
put that
touch
thing to
screen.
use. I
So many different
I
things.
passed the Super Mario game just like maybe a couple months ago,
Yeah.
and I haven't touched it since. I mean, like it was just sitting there collecting dust. Um, well, actually, it's kind of let's segue into what the topic of today is. Um, so the name of this podcast is called Lights, Camera, Action. And why did I choose that name? Okay. Well, the biggest lesson that I've learned recently has been basically what procrastination is. Because I think that we overuse the word and it kind of lost its meaning. Um, at least in the way I see people use the word around, they're like, oh, you're procrastinating, but they don't. I don't think that people really understand what that actually means. Um, and not that it what it means, but how it plays out in your life. So recently I had a big project to do for a class that I'm taking, and I was starting to catch myself procrastinating day in and day out for you know for 2 months. I had this thing. I had to do it in 2 months. And here I was the week before, just barely starting it. And I was pulling my hair. I was just, stressed out. I didn't know how I was going to do it. Once I got to do the project, um, it wasn't that difficult because I've been in the industry, so I understood what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that me waiting this whole time, just thinking about it, it took up so much energy out of my brain power just to have that in the back of my mind. Like, hey, remember, 2 months from now, you're gonna have a project that's due, and then the next day, hey, you still have a project that's coming, and then a week later, hey, you have a project. 2 weeks later, you have a project, and then 1 week before I have to turn in the project, I was like, hey, you still have a project that you have to do. You better get your ass and go, get your ass up and do it. So then I did, man. But so I realized I've been making these sort of excuses my entire life. And I think that everybody has the same thing. Everybody has, in one way or another, you're a procrastinator. I think I wouldn't say that it's human nature, but the life that we live now has given us this choice. We have this choice of procrastination, and the choice comes from us having too much and being spoiled. You know, you have clothes on, right? We all. I mean, it's pretty easy to acquire clothes, even if you're poor or homeless. You can acquire some sort of clothes, right? Um, well, have
I
you?
saw someone wearing a jacket as pants today, but
Okay, you just you just threw a wrench in that argument. So okay, hang on.
But no, it is.
You saw
You can go get it cheap, or you can find it
for
at,
free.
yeah.
Salvation Army or place like that usually gives out clothes for free for people who are in need. But if you've noticed, the majority of homeless people are still clothed. The majority,
Yeah.
I would say 98%.
Yeah.
Even if it's like ripped, they're still clothed. They're not like running around in loincloths.
Yeah.
And so, well, the point of that is that we've been spoiled here in where we live. Every city, every country is different, but here where we live, we've just been spoiled this whole time. And so we've had this choice given to us of doing something and not doing something, and then the pros would be doing something and achieving something, and the cons would be virtually nothing. Like, there's no downside to not do anything. You're still gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a life or death situation. And so I feel like that's one of the reasons why people have grown to be such procrastinators. And I'm only saying that because I see it in myself. And now that I see it in myself, I'm starting to catch it with other people. Um, and well, bringing it back to the point of playing video games and why I haven't been playing video games, or why I even wanted to play video games. Well, it's a form of procrastination, and so is most of entertainment. Um, I'm not gonna say that this applies to everyone, because I know that there are a lot of people who are disciplined, like they give themselves time to play, they give themselves time to enjoy things, and then they still get their work done.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at the younger generation and some of our generation, which we belong to the millennial generation. Kind of threw up in my mouth.
I don't care about that stuff.
You don't care about what?
All those titles. That don't mean nothing.
It doesn't. It means the generation, like the boomers.
No, it's just a name they gave out to type of like year to year. Like people try to use it as a description for anyone who's born between this time and that time. It's just kind of dumb.
I mean, it's just that. It's just a description.
Yeah, but
It's
people
just
try
a
to
name.
use it in stupid ways.
How so?
It's the whole concept of old versus young, where the young people hate the older people, and the older people hate the younger people. So it's just like it's a different way of saying young, old, or somewhere in the middle, of making it more negative way. Like how you said, "Oh, millennial makes me throw up."
Why?
Why does it make you throw up? Because
Why?
you were born between the years of what is it,
No,
1990
no. It's
and
because
2000?
it's because of the generation. I haven't met a lot of people within my circle, within my friends, acquaintances, within friends of friends, within friends of friends of friends of friends. I haven't met a lot of people who are actually doing something. Everyone's just kind of hanging out. Or they're moving out of the state because they can't afford to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I'm starting to see that. And so I feel like a lot of people, I mean, I don't know. It's personal choice, personal preference, but the point of this of what I'm trying to communicate to you guys is, we have been spoiled this whole time. The millennials have been spoiled. We grew up with technology. We understand it. It's easy to use. Uh, Everything is at our fingertips, which makes us even lazier. And people are lazy by nature, right? And so, anyway, that's just something that I've learned. And so, okay, so that's procrastination, and this kind of ties into what anxiety is. So the way I was told, this is what I was told by my therapist. Anxiety is basically the fear of the future, you know, particularly the outcome of the future and the fear of it. You don't know what's going to happen, you know, next week. You don't know what's going to happen when you quit your job, and you want to build a business. You don't know what's going to happen. And so, um, obviously some people get crippling anxiety where they can't do anything. They just get paralyzed. But then there's other people who get the anxiety and then they figure it out, you know, and they achieve their goal. And how do they do that? It's basically is that they defeat it. And well, let's break it down even more. So anxiety is the fear of the outcome of the in the future, right? Well, the way I was explained is, so if we have if we have like a choice to make and we're unsure of the choice, it's because one, we haven't prepared for it, we haven't planned for it, we haven't put much thought into it. We know it's coming, we just don't do anything. In other words, we're not being proactive about it, right? Have
Yeah.
you ever had, I'm sure you've had plenty of times where you knew something was coming up. However, you didn't really plan for it. And so in turn, you were kind of anxious about the outcome, as most of us are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that in itself, when people do that for a long period of time, it becomes a habit. And so that's what was happening to me. I've been the biggest procrastinator in the world, man. All my life, like school, all through school. I don't know if you remember, all through school was like that. Um, Early childhood, everything. Like for me, it was just a big procrastination thing. Everything I was just putting things off. I was after the simple pleasures like the entertainment and the basically I was checking out of reality. Does that make sense?
Okay.
What's reality? Let's go in this rabbit hole. Right?
Whatever you do.
No, but what is reality? The reality is that things happen. You need to do things. The time ain't waiting for you. Time comes and goes.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
see, like, I heard this today. Something can be irrelevant until done enough to become relevant. So, like, video games when they first were out were like, you play Pong, cool. Still kind of irrelevant. Like, there weren't people sitting there 12 hours a day playing Pong. Like, sure, there may have been like a handful of people who made some Pong tournament or something,
Mm-hmm.
but very few. Where now you have people who are being paid millions to play games, millions to promote brands,
Okay, but
and
how many of those
it's
people?
relevant. So like, well, not realities. What was the word you were saying?
Which one? Fascination?
No, not
Reality.
Were you saying reality? No,
Yeah.
you were saying a different word.
No, I said reality.
Okay. Well, the reality now is that can be a reality.
Yeah, but what is the percentage of the? Okay, so we have two groups, right? We have the people who play 20 hours a day, who get paid sponsorships to play in big tournaments. They get paid millions of dollars. And then on the other hand, we have 90% of Americans, kids and teenagers and young adults playing video games with no compensation.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with any business, though. There are businesses that suck and don't go anywhere, and there are businesses that prosper.
But okay, so
it's the same kind of concept.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
So some people prosper in everyday life, and some people don't.
Well, to tie it in, okay, big corporations and big companies, they don't procrastinate. They don't procrastinate at all. They've made it so efficient that their brand is growing no matter what.
Yeah.
Whereas a small little brand who they're like, I'm gonna next year I'm gonna go to my accountant and say, hey, let's work on my taxes, okay? Or okay, let me even give you this example because I'm now that I'm learning a little bit more about real estate investments such as apartment complexes. There are owners out there who get a building just to get cash flow. And they go and they grab all the rent in like the gross rent income from the property and they go blow it out, buy cars, buy luxuries, buy things they don't need. They never reinvest in the apartment homes. And so sooner than later, the apartments start basically breaking down. And so this guy spent all the money. He has no more money to put back into the apartment. That guy is never gonna make any more money. That's it. He's either gonna sell it or he's gonna lose the property. And then there's other companies that they're so proactive. They have years planned ahead. And so that's the difference between the this I hate to use that word, man. The small.
Just say small business, business and big business, because I mean, if you look at it too, at a certain point, it becomes so many different people. There's a different concept. When it's a smaller business, it's put on like in a newer business where you have maybe 10 employees. The majority of those employees are the are the grunt workers. And then their success can come out on the other side, and the majority of the big issues are thrown on maybe 2 3 people at the most.
Yeah, but we
So
have to understand.
but in big business, that's each one of those issues that those three people, let's say each three has 10 things they gotta do. In big business, each one of those 10 things those three people need to do has a team on each one of those things. So that's why it's, in a sense, unfair, because you're
Okay,
still human.
Hang on, Greg. Hang on. Before you go in that rabbit hole, I'm gonna stop you right there. Why?
Because, like you said,
No, let me tell
the
you.
humans are lazy, and it's
Yes.
hard to keep consistent.
Yeah.
So when you have more people doing something, it usually becomes more successful.
Okay, but you
And
and
you
I and everyone must understand that big business came from small business.
Yes.
It wasn't just a big
But
business
the big
overnight.
business, when it was small business,
They made
was
the
not
right-
greater quality. So now, because there are so many big business, it makes it harder for small business.
I wouldn't say that.
I would,
Why?
because it's just like the majority of the time. Like if you try, especially Amazon, they do this daily. They just go in and either they'll buy you out, or they'll buy everything out around you so that you can't have a business anymore.
Well, they're smart.
Yeah, and that's the point. That
But
it's-
he
it's
started.
almost-
But have you know where he started?
Sure,
from?
he started somewhere, but now he's not allowing others to start because he wants to take everything.
It's not his fault that everyone's ordering from Amazon.
But see, that's one of the issues, though.
Okay.
So sure, he's being successful in as many ways as he can,
Yeah.
but it's causing an issue in the greater picture. Because
Nah,
if one
you know
person
what? I'm
holds
thinking-
all the money, then what is everyone else gonna do?
The money
Like,
is
sure,
being
he's not holding
printed
everything.
every year. There's money for everybody.
Yeah, so money holds no value and shouldn't even be a thing anymore. If it's just being printed, like, it's no issue. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's laws,
Yeah.
and there's a thing called inflation. I think we're at like
Yeah.
3% inflation right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I I feel like we have grown up thinking that money works and that there's a process to money. And sure, there may be, but like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
If money didn't work, we would not have technology.
No, but like, I don't know. It just
It's
doesn't completely make sense
it's
to me.
proven that it
Because,
works.
Like, I
You
went
give
to
somebody a piece of paper, and they will give either a service or a product for you.
Yes, but at a certain time, like let's say, or I'm gonna throw a small number. Obviously, there's not this much. Let's say there's $10 in the world, right? And let's say there's 10 people alive. Everyone has $1, and now you get big business. We'll name one of these 10 people big business. Now has $5, and there's only. Oh jeez! I thought a ghost was moving it. My microphone just fell straight off the table. Did you see that?
Jesus Christ.
But let's say.
Dude, you gotta put it on right.
Well, no, because the lip right there, yeah, just didn't have it tight enough. I don't think. But so now this guy, big business, he's got $5 of the dollars, and there's only $4. But there's 10 people alive.
Okay, where did
So
these
now-
hang on.
My
Hang
po-
on. No, I
I'm
get
using
your
small
point.
numbers so we don't
I
throw
get
big
your
numbers
point.
out.
But where did the $5 come from?
It was taken for some service or something.
Okay, so it's fair business.
Yes.
Okay,
But now what about the people who have nothing and can't
so
get anything?
you're saying that there's a limited amount of money.
No, I'm saying now you're creating this money just to go back to someone else. Like, where is this money coming from? Why are these people getting this money? You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
how you're saying more money's being printed.
You gotta fix your microphone.
No, it's fine. It looks funky, but it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're printing out more money, why?
Why are we printing more
Yeah.
money?
If money keeps going in certain directions anyways, like certain groups are getting more and more money, regardless if it's big business or next big business.
So you're questioning economics.
Sure, but like it just doesn't make sense.
Okay,
I don't get
what don't
where
you
all
understand?
this like how they always say, rich stay rich and poor stay poor, right? So these
Okay,
rich
hang on.
people usually you
Hang on,
don't
hang on.
lose their money.
Hang on. Hang on. Are you referring to people who have money? Because rich, it means a lot of different things. And
Yes,
poor
we're talking about
means
money.
a lot of different things.
We're talking about money.
So rich people who have money tend to stay rich.
Yes.
Do you know
money
why?
money stays there.
Why?
I'm not getting into that concept.
Well, you have to.
No.
You
Because
have to.
I'm trying to explain why money in general doesn't make sense. Not because
So
some people have more money.
I'm gonna make it make sense right now. That's why I'm breaking it down. Maybe you're overseeing the big picture.
Go ahead.
Why do those people have that much money? It's because they've been using principles like saving your money before you spend it and invest your money into places that are going to make you more money and put your money to work. Instead of the poor, they work for money. The rich people make their money work for them.
Okay. So that's fine. So the poor people, they get money from the rich people because the rich people have the money to pay them to do something. It's fine. And if this money keeps being printed and given to who? Like, where does the money go?
Well, it goes in circles.
In circles, but like this new money, where does it go? Like, who gets it?
Well, you have the opportunity to get it.
How? It was printed somewhere from someone for some reason.
What are you even talking about? It's printed
this new
from
money, yes,
the U.S. Treasury.
and goes where?
Right?
Just into
And
the
it
U.S.
goes
government's pocket.
Does it?
But that's my point. Where does it go?
It goes many places. It goes into making these microphones. It goes into making the laptop.
So you're saying it goes to whatever business made this?
Yeah, and
or
then
whatever business makes products. This money that's being printed. You know what I'm saying?
You have to understand what is money.
That's the point.
Do you know what money is?
It's a concept that we understand that this holds a certain value, and we understand that there's things that are better value than others. No, so it's like going to buy a Toyota is not the same as going to buy a Ferrari. No. We understand it. We know there's more value to one than the other. No. Then that's exactly what money is.
No, it's not.
It's a trading. It's a trade.
Money is it's basically...
It's a concept.
Well, it's more than that. It's trust.
Because a sheep used to be money.
No, but hang on. That's why. It's trust.
A hide used to be money.
But it's trust.
Clothing used to be money.
Money holds power. Power is... There's many things. Money is power. Money, there's trust in money. Because there's not?
Nah.
So when you go to McDonald's and you say, hey, I'm going to give you $5 for that Big Mac. I trust you to give me a FDA approved burger that's not going to make me sick. For my consumption. You're giving them your trust.
Because we set rules, but I mean, come on. You already see that there is no trust. Like, you don't trust McDonald's to give you a real 100% chicken sandwich.
Okay, well
there's no trust there. But
why are you going to McDonald's in the first place?
But see, now that's the point though. It doesn't hold trust. There's no trust in money. We have an understanding of money. So it's like if you walk to, let's say you go to China and you try to give them $1 for something that is $1 product, but their money is what they use a yen. They're not going to take your dollar. Your dollar holds no value.
It holds value.
If they came to give me $1 in yen,
you just have to go and convert it. You have to go and convert it.
I wouldn't take it.
Okay, you're missing the point though. Money is basically credits and debits. We're keeping track of how much you owe me for something I did for you.
Sure.
That's what money is.
Okay.
Okay, now plug it into the equation that you gave me the example.
So but now by doing that, you're saying printing out in the sense of creating more money because money migrates in a direction of success. We'll put it.
I don't necessarily think it's like that. The poor community has plenty of money. They just don't save it. They spend it. That's why they're poor.
Sure, yes and no.
Sure, yes.
Because sometimes you have to spend money to live. So like, let's say
That's fine.
you work and you make 2,000 a month,
Okay.
but you have to spend 1,500 to have a place to live. Because if you don't have a place to live, you couldn't take your showers. You couldn't have your kids because your kids would be taken by what is it called? Not CPS. Is it child? Yeah, CPS. And so these are things that you gotta have. So now you got $500, which goes straight to food. Now you can't really save anything.
I think that's.
So like,
I think what you're talking about is a lack of discipline. I think your money can go a long way if you use it right. There's a reason why rich people are rich, man. And it's not
yeah,
because they spend it. They spend it now that they're rich because they have plenty of it. But to get there, they weren't like, I'm just gonna live the lifestyle that I want. I'm gonna buy Jordans today. I'm gonna have the latest iPhone. I'm gonna have internet at my house. I'm gonna have fast food every day.
yeah, yes and no. But at a certain point though, it's just overkill. Like how we were talking about how a big business who decides that let's say this is a TV company. This company has only ever done TVs, and they decide, hey, I want to get into the music business, and this is the time where iPhones just came out, and so they created their own MP3, and they decided, hey, we got this money, we're just gonna buy out all the companies that are doing this, and make contracts with all the companies who are creating this kind of product, and just make everyone go out of business.
That's power.
But it's so ridiculous. Like,
But it's okay.
and
I get
and the
that
point,
it's ridiculous, but it works. And it's proven that it works.
but it works for few, which creates issues for everyone.
Okay, okay? So what I'm hearing is that you believe that the reason why we're poor is because we're being oppressed by large companies who have hold all the money. Although we both,
How is it falling off again?
I told you to fix your mic.
No, it's not the mic. I'm gonna mute mine for a second.
Anyway, Greg is falling apart over here.
Oh, you know what?
Greg's falling apart. Anyway, we'll give him a few minutes to get set up. Anyway, yeah, well, if you guys are interested in maybe even participating in this debate or conversation, leave a comment, interact with us. Want to get a feel of what other people think. I know for a fact that we're not right 100% of the time. So it would help if we start this is just to start the conversation, you know? Um and so Greg, you back?
Yeah, so
Okay, so continue.
so I'm not saying that's what's I'm not saying that people are poor because people are rich.
So what are you
I
saying?
mean, technically, that's how it is. That's just how it is. If someone's rich and there's only a certain amount of money, then someone's going to be poor. If there's only a certain amount of money and certain people have way more than everyone else, then yes, that's what it is.
I would say
So-
temporarily. That's true.
No, it's
Not-
just
not
how it's always been.
indefinitely.
You look through history, and there's never been a time where there's not rich people and poor people. Period.
Before money, They were
No.
all poor.
Still rich and poor. You have kings and slaves.
Before then. Before money.
When was there non-kings and slaves?
Cavemen.
Cavemen, there was still your alpha male, your beta males.
That's not being rich.
It's the same thing.
So
The
are you
alpha
saying-
male got everything given to them. Sure, they may have been strong. They may have been able to go out and kill more or something like that. But they were
Is that
they would
rich?
always have more mates. They would always have
Okay,
more
so
family.
are you
they
saying
would
that
always-
rich people are alpha males?
That's not what I'm saying. No, because you can have what you would consider now a
So
beta
it's
male
not the
who's
same
rich,
thing.
but in the sense of
It's not
what
the
is a
same
term?
thing.
I guess I'd have to figure out a term for it without being success and non-success.
You mean being the top lobster?
Sure, we'll use top
Your
lobster and
genetics?
bottom lobster, whatever you want to say, alpha male, beta male, whatever.
In that respect, yeah, that's totally correct. Even now, there's people who are beta males who have more money than alpha males.
But you can't have an alpha male without creating a beta male, or a successful lobster without creating a non-successful
Okay,
lobster.
so you're saying you can't have one without the other.
Yes, and one
Okay, that's-
one makes the other, regardless if it's the lower
Look,
one.
man, you're talking
making it
about,
lower,
you're
making
talking
the other
about
one higher.
The yin and the yang.
Sure, whatever, however you want to call it, we can say as many things all the way until the
Okay,
end
so
of the night.
what is the point of
That-
the yin and the yang?
That it seems that, like you say, more money is being printed to try to bring these people up, to bring everyone to a evenish level. That's not how it happens. It doesn't happen that way.
Okay, this is okay. You're talking about a utopia that does not exist.
That's what I'm saying. It won't,
Well, I understand that.
because
but
people
okay,
are trying to take too
what I'm
much.
trying
It's
to-
gluttony.
what I'm trying
It's
to what I'm trying
what's the
to
other one?
convey to you and the listeners is, although there's not ever, I mean, at least not in my lifetime, I don't think there's going to be a utopia or a utopian world. I'm trying to convey the message that you still do have the opportunity to be this top lobster or to be on the higher end of the spectrum instead of the lower end of the spectrum. You have the opportunity to be successful. You have the opportunity. Everybody does. With the exception of people who probably have some, some sort of disability.
Sure, I agree that you have opportunity to be successful, but it seems like there's less opportunity because ones who are already successful these days are trying to reduce others' success to increase
In
their
their own
success,
market. You
which
don't see-
equates to all markets,
No.
because there
You
are
don't see
there are
Jeff-
big businesses in all markets already.
You don't see
see what I'm
Amazon.
saying?
You don't see Amazon out here in bicycle races. You can be an athlete.
You know, do they actually sponsor anything?
Yeah, they sponsor a lot of things.
No,
but
not
you don't see
sports or
Jeff
anything.
Bezos competing Michael Phelps.
How is Amazon not on like a soccer team or a football team or a NASCAR? Is there an Amazon NASCAR?
Because they don't have to. Everybody already knows who they are. That'd be like a waste of money.
Yeah, but there's been enough studies out there to where if you don't advertise, you start to drop off because people you're not thought of as much. So like even like Coca-Cola commercials, like you get Coca-Cola commercials, they don't put out new products. It's the same product, so why keep advertising the same product? It has nothing to do with
It's not for
people
you.
don't know what Coca-Cola
for you.
is. It's just to remind you that hey, we're here.
It's not for you, Greg. It's for your children.
No, it's literally for a reminder, hey, I'm here.
No, yes. That's what marketing is.
It's like if you stop calling your friend from high school, eventually you don't even remember they exist in a sense.
Yeah,
And
that
then you
is-
run into them
you're
50 years
talk-
later, you're like, is that you, Bob?
You're talking about marketing. That is the
Yeah.
definition of marketing. But the point is that they're not marketing for you. They already got you
Yeah.
hooked. They're marketing it to your kid. And you think that's not true?
No, I think there are times
You don't
when
think
you
that
do
your kid doesn't
remarket,
see,
but
you don't-
that
okay.
happens every so many years because there's no point and doing it every year because there's no
Okay,
like
let
age
me
doesn't happen. So
let me
like
tell you this.
so someone born today doesn't need to be advertised tomorrow. They need to be advertised to a year from now.
Do you know that?
Well, because they wouldn't do anything. They're
Okay,
a baby
so
who can't move.
These
So that's the
companies,
point.
these companies aren't playing the today game. They're playing the 10 years from now game, the 20 years from now game. That's what they're playing. Look at Disney. How did Disney start? With a cartoon marketed to who? To adults or to children? Now,
Actually, it was pretty grody at the start. I think it was adults.
it was for children. With whatever the subliminal messages that they found, that's a whole different thing. But that wasn't the main animation, right? That wasn't the purpose of Disney. It was to capture the younger audience. So what happened now? How many people do you know who have Disney passes?
None.
You don't know anyone who? Okay.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay. How many of the people that you know had Disney passes?
I didn't know that many people. I had one, and 3 other people I knew had one at the same time. And it was the people I went with.
So 4 people.
Yeah.
Okay. You think that you kind of grew up with Disney movies when you were younger?
A little bit.
A little bit. When you went to McDonald's, were there Disney figurines and toys?
I don't know. Did McDonald's do Disney that much? I know they did whatever was big at the moment.
They did for a while. They did Tarzan. I remember till this day.
Oh yeah, I remember a Tarzan one.
I remember a lot of Disney.
I remember a lot of toys. I don't necessarily remember anything outside of like Pokemon. Because there was a time where it was like
special,
and they did Teletubbies. What is it called? The Bean Babies.
Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies. They had those. That's what I remember those too.
Well, anyway, if you live in California, you'll know, or even you will have a Disney. You'll know someone, or you even own a Disney pass. And what these people don't understand is that they've basically the choice. The choice of getting a Disney pass wasn't the choice that they made today. It's a choice it's been a choice that they've made a long time ago when they first let Disney into their heads. And so that's just how big corporate is, or big corporate business is. You mentioned Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola doesn't really say it, but they're out in third world countries building schools and giving Coca-Cola for free. Why would they do that? Because they care? Or is it because they're getting all those kids and all those people in that community hooked on Coca-Cola?
So you just agreed with me on something.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Sometimes we agree on things.
Yeah,
what did you agree on?
But because we were arguing so much about how a lot of businesses do shady things in the like look at the good that I did. Like we recycle.
I don't think I ever disputed that.
Oh, because we always argue about it.
No.
About the shadiness of business.
But you're saying every business.
Yeah, every business does it.
I don't think every business.
I haven't heard of a single business that hasn't.
So, I mean, you have to define what you mean by shadiness.
We've done it before. Like let's say a business is supposed to have a license and they don't have the license to do this specific job, but if they don't do this job, then they don't have the money to continue their business further. So now they do it. That's shady.
Sometimes that happens.
It's shadiness.
Okay, but what do you mean shadiness? Shadiness
they shouldn't be doing it, but they're doing it anyway.
The rules?
In a sense, yes.
Or the law? Or shadiness in a way that it's affecting you personally?
Or where, like, let's say there's an employee and you're supposed to be working 8 hours and they need to go do something, but if they leave this and they need to stay for 8 hours and 30 minutes because you need them to stay, but if they leave, they're gonna get fired. Why are they gonna get fired when the agreement was 8 hours? It's shady.
Is it shady, or do you mean that? Well, it could be. I mean, it depends. Like,
It's threatening.
Okay,
it's like
hang
you
on.
lose your job or you
Hang
stay.
on, Greg. Shadiness, like shadiness or sketchiness, that's such a vague term. You have to be more specific. It's too vague.
How-
Anything is shady. Life is shady.
I don't know
So
about
what
that.
do you mean by that? What do you mean that it's shady? That every business is shady? I don't understand. Is it that they're compromising life? Are they impeding in your day-to-day life? Or are they just doing what they need to do to become a legitimate business? I don't know which
No,
one.
because there's a difference
We need
between-
to differentiate what you're talking about.
There's a difference between going up to someone and saying, "Hey, can you stay for another half hour because I really need your help with this," and saying, "If you don't stay for another half hour, you're fired."
But there's both of those people exist.
But that's my point. Is the shadiness of that kind
Some
of situation is in every business.
But some people are shady, Greg. That's human nature.
But that the concept of how what we just talked about in that one specific circumstance, there are many different types of circumstances that are similar to that every business does. Like going out and buying all the other companies so that that company can't do business. Now that person's screwed.
It's illegal?
No, I'm saying it's shady. I mean, you
But
can
what
do
okay,
you can
but that's why
do
I'm asking. What
illegal
do you
things
mean?
in a legal way.
That's why I'm asking. What do you mean by shady?
So it's
What is-
like
give
it's
me
like
the
going
definition
like
because
this is shady. I don't know if this one is specifically true. I read it and didn't look it up, but it was a story about Trump. He had put in a flagpole. Let's say it was 10 feet tall, but they said that it could only be 5 feet tall. So he said,
who's they?
whoever it is. I'm just throwing this example. Like I said, I don't know if it's true. So he built a 10-foot pole, but he was only allowed to build a 5-foot pole. So he said, okay, I'll change it. So he built a 5-foot dirt mound and put a 5-foot pole on there. It's shady. Like the point is not to be 10 feet. See what I'm saying? You get around things by doing stupid, shady things.
Did it make a difference? Either or?
Yes.
Why?
The point was not to be 10 feet in the air. So just because you built a dirt mound and then put a 5-foot pole on it,
okay.
you're just
I see
being
your point.
shady.
I see your point. But also, whoever made that law is stupid as fuck. Why would you make that a law?
I think it had something to do with the airport in the area.
Okay, well now we're speculating.
No, well, that was said in there, but like I'm saying, in the example, I can't say that this was exactly what happened, but in what I read, it was because of the
So
airport.
it's a code violation because there's an airport nearby.
Yeah. But now because he built a 5-foot mound and put a 5-foot pole on it, it's fine.
Yeah. Fucking.
It's just kind of ridiculous and shady.
But see, you keep saying this shady thing, and I want you to really specify what you mean by that, because shady, if you look up the definition, it's so vague. It's everything is shady. Life is shady.
Fine, it's disrespectful. We'll use that word then.
Disrespectful to whom?
We're just okay. See, what you're doing now is you're nitpicking words because you don't
I
want
have
to
to,
take
because
the
it's
slang version of it.
I have to, because shady is too vague.
You don't have to, because we're not sitting in this legal form. If you're sitting in some legal form, then sure, I'll have to write up a specific document and use specific words to not make it vague enough so that we have a
Well, now,
smack dab
right, now that you
thing.
go into that, That's what life. That's what life is about.
And that's ridiculous.
What? And
This
why do
whole
you? And why do
nitpicking
you?
of word, like you could say the wrong tense in a sentence, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, but be able to twist it and say no, that's not what you said.
You're losing me. You're going. You're going down a rabbit hole we may not
It's
be
like
able
what
to
we
recover.
see on like the news, for example, where
Okay,
you
I don't
no,
want to hear
no,
about the
it's
news
to
because
explain the
the
situation that I'm
news
saying
are
right now.
very
You see
shady.
on the news, someone says something, you take a 2-second clip, and
You take it out of context.
you take it out of context. It's the same exact thing in how right now how you're saying shady, if you look at the definition, means this. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about how you and I speak
No, hang on. I didn't say
and
that.
understanding.
No, I didn't say that. I said your use of the term shadiness is too vague. You're plugging it in things that you're saying. You're basically saying that all business is shady.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you mean by that?
I've given examples. Like
Well,
I can't. I would have to sit here all day and keep telling you every example until we got to the end, and
why?
you can't do that.
But do you
So
understand
you said
why?
a word and you said a pretext to it.
Okay, well, I have to disagree with you on some of it. I don't think all business is shady. Is it shady that you give? Again, we'll go to the McDonald's. You go. Okay, you made the choice to go in there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they disclose all the crap that they put in their food. You still chose to go there.
Uh-huh.
You're giving them $5. They're giving you a meal for what it costs to keep the meal is priced so that they can pay the insurance, they can pay their employees, they can pay for the food.
Okay.
Right? You're receiving the food and you eat it. You go home. What in that transaction is shady?
But see, now you're saying in that transaction.
But
In that
that's the
transaction, there may
business.
not be anything necessarily shady.
That's the business. That's what I'm saying.
But now,
Is it
what about the
everything?
worker who was there who wasn't supposed to be working because they're already on their 14th hour or something?
I'm not saying that doesn't
Like
happen.
that's my point. Like
but I'm
there's
not
enough.
saying that doesn't happen.
Like not every single moment of a business is shady.
That is.
I never said
okay,
that.
That's what I'm asking you. What do you mean? Because you're saying all business is shady. That's what you're saying.
No.
So tell me and be more specific by what you mean.
Well, see, now you're trying to break it down to every single moment. Like, if we're gonna do
Okay,
that, then we're
well-
never gonna be able to talk about anything.
Well, you have to.
You don't.
If you just say all business is shady. Next point. The fuck does that mean?
It means that
It
all
means
business is
people are
shady.
gonna
If
be
you
like-
don't think that that's true, then
People are
you're blatantly
Yeah,
just.
but people are gonna be like, okay, all business is shady. Okay, I don't know what that means. That's why we need to sit here and have this long form conversation so that you can get your point across, and then I can meet you halfway and be like, okay, I
But
understand.
I mean,
what you mean.
we've said that before. Like the examples I've given you, I've said before. Like even on the podcast. So it's like it's more or less just go like once a new word is introduced, it's nitpicked again. So then you got to go back to the start and explain it from the same.
Or
exact
you could just use a better term
example.
and say, or a better example, say, sometimes businesses are shady.
Which I have.
But that's not what you said. And that's why I asked
But
you.
see, now that's the point. Now you got to go back and start all over again from the beginning, and you got to break it down again.
We don't.
But that's what we just did
I'm
right
not
now.
even here arguing with you.
No,
I'm
no,
just
but that's what
wondering-
it's.
I'm just wondering what you're talking about, because if you're losing me, it means that you're losing the people listening.
But I don't really think that you're being lost by that. I think you're trying to break it down too much. Like,
I'm
not
just
everything
trying to
has to be
figure out-
breaking down a lot.
I'm just trying to figure out what it is that you're talking about when you say all business is shady. Sure, you gave me some examples, but in some examples doesn't exist the word all. So that's why I'm wondering, you mean everything? All of them? Every person who owns a business? Do you like what is your perception of a business? This apartment complex is a business.
In a sense, sure.
No, not in a sense. It's a business. It's people pay to live here. They pay
Okay.
rent to live here. It's a transaction.
Yes. So
That's a
then
business transaction.
what becomes shady is if the business transaction is that they'll have a home, their water will work,
What you're saying?
their
if-
electricity will work, but now the issue why my electricity doesn't work isn't because I'm not paying my bill and the electric company will fix things, is because you won't allow the electric company to rewire the house that needs to be done. That's where, like-
Wait, hang on. Okay.
See, no.
Hang
This
on,
is what I'm
wait.
talking about. You're trying to take the example and break it down more and more. We don't need to.
Okay,
Just
but
use the
you're
example
saying-
and let the example
Okay,
be.
Greg.
It's a hypothetical, and that's all it
Okay,
is.
Greg, but you're saying if. You can't say.
Because
and
it's a hypothetical.
I
From the
understand
beginning
that.
of the sentence, the first word that's said is an if.
Okay, so what is the point of even throwing that out? If
Because
it's
we
just
don't
me?
have exact
let's go on
examples that
facts.
can apply to everyone who's here.
So let's go on facts. Okay?
Well, we can't go on any facts
Yes,
because
we
not
can.
everyone has the same business. We've never been in the same business. We can't use any facts.
I can use a fact right now.
Okay.
The fact was that this complex is a business. That's a fact.
Sure, the complex is a business, but the
It's a
people
business.
within it are part of the business.
Sure. But
So-
it's still a business.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's a business transaction. You pay rent every month to get to live in the apartment.
Okay.
That's a business transaction.
Okay.
What in that is shady?
In that specific circumstance, may not be anything.
Right. So is it all of the businesses or some of the businesses? Like,
No,
is it
all businesses have shady aspects to it.
sure? Everything has shady aspects to it. You break it down. School, things, your food, your body has shady things. Sometimes you get cancer. Yeah, everything's like that.
Yes, but there's a difference between knowing it and continuing to do it in a purposeful manner and things happening.
Okay, would you say that procrastination works the exact same way?
What
Just
do
to
you
tie
mean?
it back into what the point of the conversation was.
What do you mean, though?
What do I mean?
That
we
doesn't
purposely
make complete sense.
purposefully procrastinate, although we know we need to do something.
I don't
We
think I
make the
understand completely.
conscious choice to not do things that we're supposed to be doing. Okay, let me even break it down even more.
Let's say, like, if I have a paper due at school in a week
No,
and I
I'm-
decide to wait until the night before,
Okay, let's not use
rather than saying, I know that I need to eat today, but I'm gonna put it off and go buy McDonald's. Like, I'm supposed to cook at home, but I'm gonna put it off and I'll just eat McDonald's later.
Yeah, in both ways. Yeah.
I mean, I think there are enough circumstances that does happen, yes, but at the same time,
So
it
okay,
seems
so let's take that example, and then look at the business and say, well, I can do this. I'm gonna cheat my body. I'm gonna cheat whatever. But hey, you're a business. You shouldn't be cheating. You should not be doing that. There's rules to this. Does that make sense? I mean, like, I'm
I
trying
can
to
see what you're trying to say there, but like that has more, like, the example that you use exactly with eating McDonald's. You're saying it's not healthy; it'll be bad for your body. It's all in the moderation, but there's no moderation to the difference between if the company is supposed to be charging you $2.50 on your credit card. We'll use the example, like we agreed, it's $2.50. You swipe your card, and then you go back and you see your bank check, but they charge you $4, and they knowingly knew that they were doing that to you. There's a difference there than you eating something in moderation that won't matter to eating it every day knowing that it's going to kill you in a week.
Wait, what I'm saying is that
So, like, there's a difference there.
yeah, okay. But
So that's my point, is purposely knowing and continuing to do it to others.
that's all
That
of the
is going to
people.
be
That is-
ridiculous.
every person does that in one way or another. You can't expect something that's been created by a human not to act the same way.
Yeah, but there's a difference when you're doing it continuously on purpose to only make yourself gain, to where, let's say,
That is
I'm
the
trying to use that
like you're using a definition of an alpha.
what?
Like an alpha would do. I mean, sometimes they don't even have to do anything. They're just, well, they still do it even if it's conscious or subconsciously. They do certain things that make them rise the hierarchy. That is the nature. That is the nature of progression for people. For anything, there's hierarchies. Our society is built out of hierarchies, which means that, okay, so you were born, okay? You technically you fought your way into an egg, and you let millions of brothers and sisters die.
No, they let me go. They were all standing side by side, and they're like, "Yeah."
Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
So you did everything you could do to gain. You went faster, you swam faster, you probably punched a few in the nuts while you were at it. You're like, no, man, this is me. You tripped another one, and you made it. That is nature. That is our human nature. That is why things evolve. Why you see lions or cheetahs and lions chasing gazelles. It's a whole. It's like a progression. It's you can't stop it. That is what life is, and so you can't expect something that's been created by a human not to behave like a human. Does that make sense? So
Okay.
because there's shady people, there are shady businesses, there are drug lords. It's a business. There's drug lords. They make money
But see
off
now,
of other people.
but see now,
But
what
then
you're
you
saying
can't.
is the like the saying, the dog eat dog. So now just do whatever you got to do to put yourself above.
You don't have to.
That
But
seems super
that's
shitty to me.
yeah, sure. But it's your choice. Which is
Like,
why we're sitting here not having eaten dog or doggy dog world. We're sitting here.
that
We're not rich.
I think, but no, I think we
That's
can
the
even
point.
agree that it almost seems like humans aren't even the way we were anymore. Like, it doesn't seem like animals have changed in the way they do things. Like, let's say in their
I
hierarchy
think
concept,
I think
but it seems like
maybe
humans
we
almost
haven't
kind of
noticed.
have. Like,
I
we
think
don't
we've had to.
seem to be the same
We never are. That's why we're
as an
saying
animal culture.
no. We're an
What
animal.
we would consider animals.
Look,
We don't consider
you know what I
ourselves
was?
animals.
I was just told this thing was mentioned by the therapist, dude. He said, I think it's forget what he called it. Not the Freud. You know what Freud, the psychologist, Freud. Um. Oh, here, let me look it up because I'm gonna butcher the guy's name and what he did. But there's a saying that I just heard, and it plays into what we're talking about. So, Sigmund Freud was an Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis, a clinical method for treating psychopathology through dialogue between a patient and psychoanalyst. So Freud, basically, he was like one of the godfathers or the father of psychoanalysis, and he said, and this is just his, what he saw in people. He says that people are essentially aggressive or greedy. essentially. And sure, you have some people who seem to be at one point or another the opposite of those two, but in reality, when you really look, like, dig down or look at it, they're still aggressive or greedy in one way or another. And that's human nature.
Okay,
So again,
but
if you make something, if something's made by a human, like a business, it becomes its own entity. It almost becomes like it's like a thing. It's like another human. It's a like when people look at Facebook, they say, "Oh, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, he's evil. He's blah." Well, is he? Like he's a human being, but is Facebook like people? You know what I mean? People are starting to treat these. We keep saying Amazon, 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 like it's a person. We think of Facebook like it's a one person, like a tyrannical person on Facebook. You know what I mean?
no, sure, it's
When
obviously a group,
it's
but
a
you got
ton of
it's
people.
it's the
It's
term behind it. It's
right, but
the
that's
way to explain
yeah.
who it is. I can't give you everyone's name. Doesn't make any
I
sense.
exactly, but within that, we forget that there's that group is also human, and that they also have lives like everybody else, and they have their ups and downs, and they go through the same things we go through. Um, but anyway, what do you think about that quote about humans are essentially both aggressive and greedy?
Sure, it's just like right now, you guys we're like just talking about your haircut, and you guys both got aggressive at each other. Okay.
Disagreement. That's a disagreement.
Yeah. And greedy? Yeah, I feel like that's why. Like we were just saying it earlier about the businesses.
Okay,
That's why.
okay, let's go even further, dude. Let's stop pointing the finger. This is one of the things that I wanted to get down to. Are you in any way um, aggressive or greedy?
Yeah.
I am.
Yes.
Okay. So who are we to say that other people, like, groups or businesses, shouldn't be aggressive or greedy?
But there's a difference between saying that you are something and saying that you choose to do things.
Okay. Do you choose to be aggressive or greedy?
Not all the time. There are times that you do choose to do it. That's why you have something called apologies, and that's why you have something uh called change. So like that's what I'm trying to say. There's a difference between people who are just trying to live their day-to-day life and people who are trying to take advantage of day-to-day life. There's a difference.
But I mean,
There's a difference in making a mistake and fixing your mistake,
okay,
or doing that same mistake on purpose because it's gonna benefit you. Like that's different.
yeah, but then it's gonna be something else.
It's just like
But it's
if
always
you
gonna
were
be
driving your
something else.
car and you accidentally ran someone over, or someone was driving the car on purpose to run someone over. Those are two different things.
Okay,
But it's the same circumstance.
okay. Well,
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I don't know. I think we're getting sidetracked again. The point is, well, you're saying that sure you make mistakes, you try to be better, but don't we always keep making mistakes? Are you perfect? Am I
Yes,
perfect?
but to to use a mistake and change from it. I'm trying to tie this into the concept that we were talking about with the business. Is the business can make a change, and sure they can make a same mistake, but if they're making the same mistake on purpose, like businesses do things on purpose consistently.
But who is it? Why are you saying it's a mistake?
No, there are mistakes, and then there's things that are on purpose.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking. Or what is like what do you feel
So,
about
like-
what they do on purpose?
Like
Give me an
let's
example.
use an example of like, say there's an online business that sells you things, and you use your credit card to pay. Like Home Depot, they
Okay.
had their whole credit card issue
Mhm.
where someone hacked in and took all the credit card information.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Home Depot's giving your information out. So there's the difference between that being a mistake and Home Depot now decided, hey, we can sell these people's information. There's a difference there between them giving your information out on accident and now them trying to profit from it because they
Okay.
know they can.
So let me go back to the other point. I get that.
Uh-huh.
Why are people consistently going back on websites, basically signing off on that information, and then complain about it?
On what? On like people being able to give out their information?
Mhm.
Usually you have a checkbox that you say yes or no to. But even if you hit no, the company will still do it anyway.
Okay.
So it's a mistrust,
So
kind of
why, if you know that,
which is
Why do
actually
we
illegal to do.
sure, but why do we keep going back into it?
What do you mean?
Why do we keep making that mistake? Why do you keep going back and signing on?
Because there's a difference. Because there are companies that have that, but that don't give your information out,
Like
and then there
who?
are companies that do give your
Like
information
who?
out, but you don't know who's doing it and who's not.
Okay, so why are we even? Okay, why are we even in that platform or in that realm of platforms?
Because it's a sad in this example, it's a sad truth that there's no other way to. We're using this online example of you playing with your credit card. There's no other way to pay online without giving your information.
Yeah. Why
Because
are
that's
we,
just something that has
why
to
are
be
we
done
buying
to happen.
online?
Huh?
Why are you buying online?
Because it's the only place to get whatever the product is that you're getting.
Why do you need that product?
Because if you don't have it, you're gonna die tomorrow.
Are you?
I'm just giving you
Go to
the
the doctor.
shenanigans. We can keep saying why this, why that. Well, yes. Oh, but this.
But
oh,
do
but
you
this.
understand
Like,
why I'm breaking it down?
then why do we eat? What's the point?
Well, it's
Because you're hungry. But why?
Well, that's not true.
Oh, just die.
That's not true.
Why not?
You want to die? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Are you trying to tell me something?
That's the point. Like, it's
What's the
just the
point?
whole little kid thing. Why?
No, you just don't want to break things down. I want to break things down and get to why it is what it is, and not just.
No,
say-
but if you're using these concepts to try to explain
well, look,
something,
you're saying
we can't keep breaking it down because it's already a hypothetical in the beginning.
That's why I'm telling you, hypothetical doesn't work.
It does when
To
you're
have
trying
a
to explain
conversation.
something.
Wait, I'm not. I want to know. I want to know what you're saying without the hypothetical situations. Like 2 + 2 = 4. Not also if you have 2 apples and then you have 2 apples, it equals 4 apples. That makes sense?
Okay.
Why do we have to go into the apples if you can just say 2 + 2 = 4? What I'm saying is, you're saying corporations found that they can monetize your data, and they keep doing it on purpose.
I'm gonna stop you right there. You're making it hypothetical right now
How?
by saying that these.
I'm not making.
Someone is doing this.
I'm repeating what you said.
No, but that's the point. That's the only way to have conversation, unless you're talking about a specific circumstance of something, is to make it
Greg,
hypothetical.
I'm not here to argue with you.
No, but I'm just saying that's why.
I'm
That's
just
why the
repeating-
conversation goes that way.
I
unless-
have to repeat what you said, otherwise you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I know, but you said you want to jump off the hypotheticals, but then we jump right back into a hypothetical. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm just rephrasing or regurgitating what you said so that you know where we left off. Okay? Can I say that first or no?
Okay, go for it.
Or
It just seems kind of funny because we're jumping back into a hypothetical.
Okay, so you want me to
If
tell
you
you what it is?
if you want to talk about something specific, then it has to be a circumstance that actually exists.
This literally exists. Corporations
Which
sell,
corporation?
well, all the online platforms. All online platforms collect cookies. All of them. The internet, that's what the internet is full of right now. Most of those corporations, if you want me to be exact, have found a way to monetize your data.
Okay.
On that's on one hand. On the other hand, you have people knowing this. They go on every day on the internet. They surf the internet, and they let them do it. They give permission by signing on to the internet to have their data collected and monetized.
Okay. Is that not what we're doing right now?
Yeah. So I'm wondering why
you got
it
a
is
cell
that
phone for business.
I'm wondering why you have a problem with businesses being quote unquote shady. Is what you're saying.
But the point is that it shouldn't be. There's no need for it.
What is the need? The need is to, you know what it is? They have a need. It's to be able to sell you things even more.
But
That's their need. That's a
for
business.
what though?
To grow.
To grow for what?
To keep growing.
Like
to give more jobs to other people.
Like, let's put it this way.
To advance technology.
To advance this company. It's okay. I'd have to create a hypothetical, so we won't go there. So Amazon keeps jumping into more and more companies, right? I don't know a business that they're not in. Right? So
They're
eventually, if they want to continue to grow and become more and more, they have to continue to grow and take more and more. So eventually, if that business doesn't fail at some point, like most businesses eventually fail, then they will eventually be taking over everything and they will be everything.
That's not necessarily true because Amazon has competition.
Yeah, but the point is to knock out your competition and eventually be everything. That's the end goal. It doesn't really happen.
It doesn't happen because government steps in.
Something steps in.
Yeah.
But like that's the end goal for every business. Take over, be top dog.
I wouldn't say
it's conquer the world essentially.
I wouldn't say that that's every business.
It's take over, be everything.
But yeah, people do that.
It's literally Genghis Khan over time.
Yeah, but this time instead of the people fighting against Genghis Khan, they're literally going into his hut.
And that's why they're smarter now. They're smarter now. They've somehow been able to manipulate something. Yeah,
they've done the research. They've done the marketing right. They've read psychology books.
But see, it seems like how you're saying it right now, it sounds like you're almost like, yeah, it seems fine. It's okay. That's not okay. For someone to conquer the world, it's not okay.
You have to understand that is human nature. We're a bacteria. We're a plague. We're a plague.
I don't know about that.
You don't think we're a plague? No?
No.
You don't think that we're, messing up the world as we live in it?
I mean, sure.
Why are we plaguing the world? Why are there millions of us here? Why are the oceans dirty with trash? We're a plague, man. We're like bacteria on Earth.
Why do you poop out your butt?
Well, that's a biology question. That's not a psychology question.
Why do bees fly? Like,
well, that's different.
If there's not one thing, there's gonna be another.
Why do bees fly? Well, it's because they couldn't get. It would take them longer to walk to the next flower instead of flying there. They're the top dog there. You see what I mean?
I don't know. It's just I don't know. That's
dude. You have this pink world lens that you wish the world existed in. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist.
And
That's not the
because
world.
people choose to make decisions to better themselves and don't think about others next to them on a consistent basis.
Well, I
Like,
wouldn't
it's
say that. I
fine.
think more people are more tribal, and they belong to a community more than you think. That is one individual person being the one saying, "I'm gonna screw over all the world."
No, I think there's enough people out there that do it to where it becomes an issue. Yes.
Okay, so why don't you, to end this conversation, why don't you explain the world? Let's say that God gave you the power. You were given the power of, what's his name, Bruce Almighty, for one day. Greg, make the world as you wish. How would the world be?
Do you feel anything just now?
No,
Exactly. That's how it would be.
What?
You
No,
don't have no
explain,
worry.
Explain it.
Like,
Give
have
me
you
a
ever
clear
sat?
vision. Let's
like-
say you know what? They're telling me, hey, you check out, like you're gonna die right now, or you're gonna go and live with Greg and in Greg's world. I'd be like, okay, Greg, you have to sell me on this one because I don't know what you're gonna do. So tell me, Greg, what is your vision for the world?
I mean, there's a lot to it. But there would be based off of what we have now. Put it that way. There would be less. What is the word? Turmoil.
It could be
there
whatever
would be
you want.
less.
It doesn't have to be based on anything.
There
You've
would-
given
there would-
the powers of God.
Yeah,
You're gonna
but
make the utopia. How are you gonna make? What is gonna be included?
there's so much to go on with that.
Not
But
really.
fine.
You can
We'll
say
just say
the
world
world.
peace. Like
No.
that's gonna be stupid.
No, I want you
to say.
exactly. I want you to be
But like,
detailed.
sure, does world peace not sound good? Obviously,
but-
it's not gonna happen.
Well,
but
look, you're doubting yourself.
No,
God
that's not a
just
thing.
gave you the power. You with the snap of Thanos, with the gauntlet, you can now create the world that you want to live in. What does that world look like?
It would be essentially a multiverse, but only what you are living in actually exists. So let's say that Joe Slomo likes to kill people, and that's his perfect world. That's fine. Because you get to live in your own perfect world and do what you want. And that's not affecting anyone because those other people don't even technically exist. You see what I'm saying?
No.
So it's like,
let's not go into multiverse.
no, I'm just saying that's a perfect world. You can
I
live
wanna
your
know
life how you want
your
to.
world.
That's not affecting anyone else.
I want to know.
That's the
okay, I
hypothetical
don't wanna know
world that we're
mine.
talking
I don't want
about.
to know mine. I want to know your world.
That's what I'm saying. I
Where-
don't think you're understanding what I'm
I
saying.
know.
I'm
Let's be
saying,
more specific.
we'll put it this way.
What is the?
I'm a human. Everyone else in the world is a robot. They don't actually exist. But then you also have your own world where you are a human and everyone else is a robot that don't technically actually exist. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
You want that? That's your perfect world.
See, I don't think you're understanding it. Because you're thinking that I'm actually saying everyone's a robot. It's not like that.
No.
It's like you don't actually exist. Like outside of me thinking, like you don't actually think. You do things,
Okay.
but you're not a person.
How do you know that that's not the world we live in now?
Maybe it is.
Right. So I'm.
So
not
then I can
asking
do
you.
whatever I want, and it's perfectly fine. It doesn't affect anyone. This is just not how it is. So you're not understanding the concept.
Okay. So you wanna be living in heaven?
What?
You want to be in heaven?
Sure. Yes.
Like that's
It'd
your
be great,
perfect world? Or
But that's
what
not
is-
what I said.
So that's what I'm wondering. Okay, dude. Look, you're on planet Earth, okay? On the
Uh.
third planet from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
You can have um, clear skies with a little bit of clouds, sunny every day. You have your friends, your family with you. You have people with you. Okay, but I want you to describe that world. What kind of world would you live in? What kind of world would you create for yourself? I don't want to hear these hypothetical things about me not existing with you doing these crazy actions.
You have to. It starts as like everything you just said is a hypothetical. I can't then just what we have now.
So you wouldn't change it.
No, because I can't.
You
Can't give you a
wouldn't change it.
hypothetical. It would be a hypothetical.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
it doesn't make
I
sense.
want to
Because you said I
know-
had the power of God to do whatever I wanted. So
Okay.
that's what I did. That's why I don't
So
understand
you
where you're going
said-
with it.
So break it down. You said you want to exist in a world like a ghost.
Like let's put it this way.
You want to be a ghost.
If you play a single player game, single player video game, within that game, none of that, like those video game characters aren't thinking, they're not doing anything, and you control that one character, and you can go in and do whatever you want. Let's say Grand Theft Auto, you're the main gangster, you go in there and you do whatever you want. It's not really affecting, like you go kill a person on the side of the street, it's not going to affect that person's family.
How
That
do you
person
know?
doesn't really have a family. That's my point. That kind of a thing.
So you want
You can go out and do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy in that sense, but it's not actually affecting the other people in the world because those people don't technically exist. There's no backstory to them.
Dude,
Do you see what I'm saying?
You're literally just describing Ready Player One. You want to be plugged into the Matrix.
No, they were dying if they died in there, right?
Okay, in your perfect world, you would be living in the Matrix, except for the fact that you could die in there. That's what you're saying.
No, because the Matrix is all still connected to each other. So each person had their individual Matrix, essentially, yes.
Okay, you're saying.
So if you
that
and
in
I
your
plugged into the
perfect
Matrix,
world-
we wouldn't be in the same Matrix. We'd be in two separate matrices.
So
Do you understand that
basically, you do not want to be. You don't want to be around people,
No.
right?
It's as if we both plugged into the Matrix, right? So like Neo and Morpheus plugged into the Matrix and they were still together. So now imagine they plugged into the Matrix. They were still together, but there were two different matrices now.
Oh, hey, no. You're
No.
fucking
This will
losing
make
it.
sense. This will make sense.
You're losing
There's
me
two
there.
different. Okay, so they joined the Matrix, right? But now let's say there's a Matrix 1 and a Matrix 2. So now
Why?
Morpheus 1 and Neo 2 go to this one. And Neo 1 and Morpheus 2 go to this one. And they live this Matrix life, but they're two different ones.
You mean that they
So-
each have their own?
Matrix, they could do whatever they want in there, and it's not affecting the other real Morpheus's reality of what happened in the Matrix. So when we came out of the Matrix, we wouldn't know what actually happened. Like if you and I went to the
Okay,
Like-
what is the point of that?
the point is that because then there's no
Why are you
affecting the others.
Okay, why wouldn't you just want to be, dude? You're caught in a paradox.
Because it's a hypothetical.
No.
Obviously, it's not gonna work.
No, but don't you know that this theory about the multiverse is a real theory that we have now?
Sure, everything's a real theory.
It's right, but it's a theory that scientists are actually really contemplating, saying they think that we live in multiple multiverses. When in the
Yeah.
multiverse of that there are infinity versions of you, with infinity outcomes, with infinity.
I can agree to a type of that to where like we're from being born to dying, there's this amount of time. There are moments in time when you're a different person, whatever you want to say, different age. So if that exists and you say there's a God and God is between all those times, knows the beginning and the end. Then there has to be some type of way to get around there. So yes, in that sense, there is the multiverse.
Okay, let me ask you this.
And so yes, I agree that that is a thing.
Let me ask you this question, Greg.
But we can't traverse it.
Let me ask you this one. Have you accepted the reality that we live in?
Sure. I don't know what that means, but
have you accepted the reality that we live in? And you can take a minute to let it soak.
There's nothing to soak. Like you have no option.
Accepted the well, you do.
You don't.
You have the option because you're still here.
I don't have the option.
Sure you do.
No, something can kill you at any moment. You don't have an option.
A lot of people. Let me tell you that a lot of people have taken the option to opt out.
Yeah.
So you have an option. What are you getting about?
That's not the same thing.
What are you talking about?
You can choose to opt out, sure.
Yeah.
But you don't have the option to continue to live. You can't say, like, if a car's coming at you and it's gonna run you over, 100% you're gonna die. You don't have the option to say, no, I don't want to die right now.
Okay.
So you don't have the option.
Okay, that's you're talking about the whole different thing.
Yeah.
You're talking about an accident or something that can happen.
But that's the point. You don't have the option to stay here. You may have the option to end it, whatever it is. Right. But you don't have both ways option.
Okay. Anyway, I'm wondering, have you accepted the fact of what the ugliness of living in this world is? Have you accepted that the world is ugly?
That there are ugly times, sure.
Yeah.
Not that it is ugly. I don't think it is.
Okay. But okay, within that, you have to look at not just look at yourself, but look at the world around you.
Okay.
You're saying that people do things that they could be evil or not evil or malintended or whatever. They do that. They do that. And that is a reality that we live in. That does happen. So have you accepted the fact that does happen? Because the way you came out this argument that we brought in, you were kind of saying, like, why do people keep doing this? But you're not looking at the whole big picture. Is that is the human nature? That is humans. It's
but see,
people.
you can't you can't say that about all the circumstances though. Sure, it's human nature to be better, but just because it's human nature to be better doesn't mean if it comes down to the circumstance of it. Sorry, I think I'm going too far with this one. But like, if it comes down to the circumstance of like, I'm gonna kill you, like, it just doesn't make sense that like no one's okay with people just killing people just because I want to be the alpha one.
Well, it used to be like that. We've evolved since then.
But I don't think that's completely true. I think it may have happened more, but I don't think people were fine with it.
Yeah, it was just part of life. It was like smoking. Everybody was fine with smoking indoors, in airplanes, in trains, in classrooms, until everyone was like, what the hell's going on? We're getting sick. Okay, we're not okay with smoking. Like, if you're going to smoke, you got to go outside. So they implemented a rule, a law. But for a time there, everybody was fine with it.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference between making the mistake and continue on with it and then changing it. Like,
but sure, is it a mistake? That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was a mistake. It was just It was just a product that wasn't studied, that wasn't around long enough for people to say there's bad consequences from using this.
Yeah, so it would be considered a mistake. When they realized the mistake of what they were doing, everyone was getting sick because you're smoking inside. They changed it.
Well, Yeah, they implemented some rules.
where
Now
like
you have to
let's
be
say
21
back
to
in
smoke.
the Western days where you got in an argument with someone and you said let's go duel and there's dead people on the street every weekend.
Yeah.
Like
It
they're
was
like, oh wait, we should probably not have all these people dying in the streets because now we're creating sickness and people are dying everywhere. Oh wait, that's gonna start killing me too.
yeah.
Oh, it's a mistake to
But how
to
long,
duel these
but
people.
how long
Like
did that take?
sure, it may have taken longer than necessary,
Okay.
but like that's the point though. Like when you realize that it's a mistake, stop doing it. Don't be like, oh, but I can continue to do it and it'll be fine for me.
So can you plug that into the other scenario, to the previous one we were talking
Yeah.
about corporations and business.
Yeah,
Yeah, like plug that in.
I kind of just did the last thing I said, but like the business is like the credit card thing,
What?
the credit card thing with Home Depot. So they realized that they got hacked. Now they're having a bigger security behind it, where maybe before it was a lot more lax, and they may have known. They're like, okay, this is a big mistake. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. Where a lot of companies
Okay, but
oh no, we never did
they didn't
this.
go out of
When they
business,
know
right?
they did it.
they didn't go out of business, right?
No, Home Depot's still around.
Right.
Because they realized the mistake and continued
Yeah,
on.
but they're still.
But the point is if they were like, okay, it happened, whatever, we don't really need to fix it that much.
What are you saying about Amazon? Like now plug it into Amazon.
So
Amazon's still around, just like Home Depot.
yes, but
What's the difference?
it's the same thing where, like how we were saying about them buying out a company. Okay, so you go out and you buy out all the things around the company to put that business out.
Okay, how many
Now
Home
you're
Depots
putting-
are there?
Wait. We're jumping back to Home Depot now?
No. Well, I'm gonna put it into perspective. Okay, how many home improvement shops are there?
Oh,
3
wait, what? What are you talking about?
in Southern California. Okay, there's 4.
Sorry, you went from Home Depot to home improvement shops to
Well,
3 companies.
What is Home Depot?
You talking about Home Depot? Like
What is
there's
Home Depot? It's a
almost
home
like
improvement.
10,000 of them. That's what confused me about you saying 3.
Okay.
You're
You-
talking about
okay.
like Lowe's, Home Depot, and Orchard or something like that,
You
or
think Orchards
or
exist?
Ace. Yeah, I think Orchards tried to come back and then they failed.
It's
Is that
home-
what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How many of those same type of business are there?
There's not too many, because I don't think
So
you really
does
find the
that-
hardware
does
like
it- does
mom
it-
and pop hardware shops.
Right. Does it mean that also Home Depot is doing the same thing as?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. All businesses are shady.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that is the natural progression of a business. Have you like what do you want a business to be? Like I don't understand. I don't
I'm not-
understand what you expect a business to be. A business is the business. It does look for loopholes to create more revenue. It does things sometimes merely by the book, skimming the lines of what they can get away with.
But see, like, let's put it this way: do you think Home Depot is just okay of a business? Like, it's just kind of hanging in there. Like, it's okay. It's not doing that well. It's just like it's okay. It's just
No,
there.
I think they're
No, it's
they're very
freaking
prominent.
ridiculous, and they're making so much goddamn money.
Yeah.
Right? That's my point.
Okay,
Where
but-
now they're skimming every little thing at the lower levels, but then on the higher levels, buku.
What
Buku.
the hell is that?
That means like you have enormous amounts. Like there's no issues. Do whatever you want.
Okay, but why?
It's just like to me when we went to the air
Okay,
show.
but you
And-
hang on. Before we get sidetracked, why are these businesses booming?
I don't know.
because people are buying into the business. So you're, and this is where I think you're kind of like you're misconstruing the thought. You know, you're saying, why are these businesses so gosh damn rich, where little mom and pop shops can't do anything? There's a like again, there's reasons for that. They learned the game, they played it well. They have supplied many homes with repairs.
But now
They
you're not
supplied
allowing other people
many
in the
jobs.
game to even learn it.
You're not allowing them? Like, they're not at your door saying you can't create your own home improvement store.
How are you gonna create your own home improvement store?
Just the same way that Home Depot started.
Yeah, when it was a mom and pop shop, when mom and pop shops existed. You don't have
Are you
that.
saying that mom and pop shops don't exist?
In this circumstance of a hardware store, the only places that probably exist is like small towns where these big businesses wouldn't work.
Not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true.
There's a lot of small towns where big businesses don't go because there is not enough business.
Well, no. Mom and pop shops here are more specialized. That's why they're still in business. You can't find something at Home Depot. You go to this mom and pop shop for a specific hardware item, or a specific floor, or a specific paint, or a specific something. Sure, they don't have the revenue to reinvest in the business to go and have lumber and then do plumbing and then do lighting, but you have to start somewhere. And instead of taking the money, like I mentioned before, taking the money and spending it on something else, instead of investing it into the business, do your marketing, play the game, do the things you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's the reason why they're not, competing with Home Depot, because it's hard. Not because Home Depot is at your door saying you can't compete with me.
Yeah, but don't you know? I forget the names. I'd have to look it back up. That all of the big businesses that we know of are owned by like 4 or 5 businesses. So the majority of business is owned by the same business. So these aren't just like what is it? Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut are all owned by the same person, but we perceive them as 3 different companies. So now they have the market in 3 different types of foods, and now you have to fight this one company to get into any of them, where you have the backing of, let's say in this circumstance, 2 other food chains.
Okay, so don't compete with them. Why don't you create a high-end restaurant?
But see, that's the point, though. There are certain circumstances where you could get in because it's not a necessarily a big business circumstance.
I'm wondering.
You can be successful.
Yeah.
Like we agreed at the start, you can be successful, but there's a difference between being successful and taking advantage to become too successful.
I don't think that. I know it correlates a little bit, but I don't think that's necessarily true.
I don't really see. I don't see it.
Well, you don't see it because you're outside.
Outside of what?
Outside of the businesses. You have to be inside to learn and see what's actually going on.
Sure, there's a lot behind the scenes that you got to do, but like
your restaurant, like the restaurant that you worked at. I don't think they're doing too well at the moment. You already know why.
Yes and no.
But you already know why.
But yes and no. And that's why I find it so shady.
What?
It's in the sense they're not doing as good as they used to. But in no sense are they doing bad.
There's still a market there, so people still go eat there.
Yes, but there's a difference between saying, "Oh man, well this business is just not making money," when you're making $2 million a year. Get your ass out of here.
Okay, but what's the operating expense for
This
the?
is 2 million in your pocket. This is after all your operating expenses.
Yeah.
Like, get your ass out here. Sure, you could be more successful, but don't come over here saying that you're not doing good. Like, come on.
Have you ever had $2 million?
No.
Would you ever want to have
Would
$2 million?
I, everyone wants to have $2 million.
Okay.
What kind of question is that?
When you reach those levels, maybe $2 million is not good for you. It changes.
Mhm.
Like right now,
No, I understand that.
it's
You
like
get
pocket
more,
change.
you start wanting the next thing,
Maybe
and
you
so on and
want
so
to
forth.
maybe you
Sure.
want to build 4 other restaurants, and that's where they're saying, you know what? I'm not doing too good. I'm not making enough to open 4 restaurants that I want.
Hmm.
That could be the reason why they say that. Doesn't mean that they're saying it because, or maybe they are greedy. Who knows? Then aren't we all?
Sure.
And so, like, that's why I'm saying, like, so when.
But you have to understand at a certain point between the natural greediness that everyone has and the overtop of where it becomes who you are in the sense. Like, there's a difference between me saying that you get angry and you actually being angry 24/7. There's a difference there.
Well, I mean, those are two different things.
So that's the point. Like, there
But
needs to be
hang
a
on,
balance to it.
no,
You
but
can't just always do
yeah,
it.
but see, when you make those comparisons, greediness is not an emotion.
I don't know. Is it technically an emotion?
No,
I have to look that one up because I think it's technically an emotion.
no, it's not. Greed, it comes from the Bible, from the what are they called? It's
Um,
it's the I think it's 5 things. It's gluttony,
oh yeah.
greed. What else? You
Uh,
should know it.
I don't remember, but no, I know
You
what
know
you're
what I'm,
talking
you know what
about.
I'm talking
Yes,
about? It's not an emotion.
the 5 deadly sins.
The 5 deadly sins. That's not an emotion. That's, you see what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
compare. I'm just saying, you gotta be aware of the comparisons you make.
But you can, the emotion you use is what causes the greed. So if you perceive the happiness of taking money from others, then the happiness is done with greed. So it may not be the emotion, it may
Sometimes,
be the action of the emotion. You
some
get? Do you
some
know what I'm saying there?
I see what you mean, but sometimes it's people. I'm
So
sure.
it's like gluttony.
I'm
You're
yeah.
happy when you're eating that freaking triple cheeseburger with a freaking chocolate shake and you're gonna go get Krispy Kreme afterwards. That's gluttony, but it's also happiness. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but with greed, I think that there's some people who don't feel too good about overstepping people and putting down people and thriving on other people's labor without feeling anything. There's a ton of people who feel like crap. That's why they say rich doesn't make you happy.
No.
So the greed is one thing,
But see
but how they get there, and I mean,
that's one of the
they
other
just
things
see,
too.
they're like, you know what, part of the game.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I'm not saying that everyone needs to be rich so that they can be happy. In no way have I ever thought that I needed to be rich to be happy.
Okay.
But to have enough money to not have to worry about whatever is going on tomorrow. So not having to worry about being able to pay the rent and be like, I don't have enough gas to say come here and do this podcast.
Okay.
I don't have to worry that, oh, I don't have enough gas to get over there to do this podcast just to have an enjoyment talking to a friend. those kind of things is what I'm saying. Like,
So what price would you pay to have that? Everything comes at a price.
well, yes, but when it's
What
hard
would
to
you-
get to that
what would
price
you
is the
give?
point.
To be set, to be what you're looking. The word you're looking for is financially independent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine to work for that. That's
Yeah.
fine. I understand that. But to be taken advantage of in circumstances, I don't think is okay.
Yeah.
So like I
What I
understand that
suggest-
jobs like McDonald's, like server jobs, things like that were meant for people who were in college or kids who just became of age to work there. That's fine. I understand that. But now the other jobs that were meant for older people, people who were going to be in places for long periods of times, should still be there. Like when you go out to the companies, like companies in general for the most part, they try to either get you to retire early or get you to leave before retirement or don't hire older people because they know they're going to go to retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that being put in place now weren't done before. The quality of life was better before outside of other issues. So like sure, the quality of life in the sense of health is different. Like you have better health advancements now, so there may be better health. But in the sense of quality of life of you having a car, you having a house, what you would consider normal amenities in everyday life, more people had and didn't have to stress to have. You have like it's just different now.
I don't think
Now
that's necessarily
to have that, most people are working two jobs. If they're not working two jobs, they're working one job, but working almost as equivalent to having two jobs.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
I would only say that that's only here in Orange County, in
Sure.
California.
I can agree with that. There's other
to
places where
California.
you can have it much better, but
Go to the Midwest. I'm sure you can work at a diner. You can work.
I've actually heard it's a little
5.
harder in diners, but like yes, there are better
You know what?
places
You
to
get the
live
point.
with a better quality of life, and it's actually being shown. California, and people are leaving. We've consistently had a downfall in people living here since I think they said 2000. I think it was 13 or 14. It's just declined in people living in California.
Good, man, because I'm tired of this damn traffic. Get the fuck
And
out of here.
But I mean, there's not less people here.
No, well, we have a lot of tourism. And then the people who are here having like 10 kids.
But see, that's what doesn't make sense to me. Like a lot of things that are said just don't make sense. Like
what?
Like how can there be less people here, but we've only built more and more living places? Like, and there's more and more traffic, and we've made more and more freeway lanes, but there's still more and more people on it.
I don't think that's whatever you read or whatever, that statistic is necessarily true.
But you hear it consistently all the time by it usually comes out from like Census Bureau. And
What
sure,
do you mean?
you know what the Census Bureau
no,
is?
What were they saying? That what? People are
that
leaving?
that we've declined in the amount of what is it called, residents in California.
Residents in California?
Yeah, so it may not take into account that we do have people here who aren't residents.
Yeah, we have a
But
ton.
yeah. But
Anyway, stop procrastinating. Action is the only way you're gonna defeat the fear.
the man.
No, everything. You know, if we keep procrastinating, and I'm not even. I don't want to sound preachy. This is something that I've just learned. I'm gonna do my best to live by, is to just take action, and we'll see where I stand a year from now. If you guys get anything out of this podcast, it's just take action. You know, make the mistakes. Just do something, and hopefully you get to figure it out. Great.
We're signing out.
Give us the outro, man.
What do you mean? You just gave an outro. All
All
right, guys.
we'll see you
We'll
guys
be back.
next week. Thank you for joining us. Leave a comment, subscribe.